You drank your water today, and yet your body is still quietly, desperately thirsty. The question is, why? Let me ask you something simple. Have you ever had one of those days where you felt a little foggy, a little tired, maybe a little irritable, and you just could not figure out why? You slept okay, nothing major happened, but something just felt off. If that sounds familiar, stay with me, because what I am about to share might change the way you think about something you do every single day, drinking water. Most of us have never been taught the difference between drinking water and actually hydrating the body. And that gap in understanding is quietly affecting the way millions of people feel every single day. When you lift a glass of water and drink it, you feel like you have done something good for yourself. And you have. But the story does not end there. That water still has a journey ahead of it. It needs to travel through your digestive system, enter your bloodstream, and then, most importantly, cross into your individual cells where the real work of hydration actually happens. And that final step, that crossing into the cell, does not happen automatically. It requires minerals, sodium, potassium, and magnesium. These are the quiet gatekeepers that determine whether water stays in your bloodstream or actually enters the places that need it most. Without the right mineral balance, water circulates and exits the body without ever reaching the cellular level where energy is made, where waste is cleared, where every biological process that keeps you feeling alive and well depends on being properly fed with fluid. So when someone says they drink plenty of water but still feel tired, still feel foggy, still feel somehow off, this is very often. There is something quietly remarkable about the human body. It never stops communicating with you, not for a single moment of your life. From the very first breath you take in the morning to the last one before you fall asleep at night, your body is sending signals, making adjustments, and doing everything it possibly can to keep you balanced, functioning, and well. The problem is not that the body stops talking. The problem is that most of us were never taught how to listen. We live in a world that moves fast, that values pushing through discomfort rather than pausing to understand it. And so we learn very early to dismiss what our body is trying to say. A headache becomes a reason to reach for a painkiller. Fatigue becomes a reason to pour another cup of coffee. Irritability gets blamed on a difficult day. A dry skin gets covered with another layer of moisturizer. And in doing all of this, we silence the very signals that were trying to guide us toward something simple, something correctable, something that did not require a remedy at all, just a moment of genuine attention. Because the body does not send random signals. Everything it expresses has a reason behind it, a biological cause, a story it is trying to tell you about what it needs, what it is missing, and what would help it feel. What makes hidden dehydration so easy to miss is that its signs never arrive loudly or dramatically. They settle in quietly, gradually, blending so seamlessly into the texture of everyday life that most people never think to question them or trace them back to something as simple and as fundamental as water. You do not collapse. You do not feel an obvious, undeniable thirst. Instead, you just feel a little less than your best, a little slower, a little heavier, a little more worn around the edges than the day truly deserves. And because these feelings come on so gently and so gradually, the mind reaches for the nearest available explanation. You blame your sleep, even when your sleep was reasonable. You blame your age, even when you are nowhere near old. You blame the weather, the season, the demands of your schedule, and the weight of everything on your plate. And so the real cause goes unexamined, day after day, week after week, while the body continues sending the same quiet signals through the same 7 channels it has always used. Signals written not in words, but in sensations, in energy levels, in the color of what your kidneys produce, in the feel of your skin beneath your fingertips, in the quality of your thinking on an ordinary Tuesday afternoon, in the steadiness or restlessness of your mood when nothing in your circumstances has changed, in the way your muscles speak to you in the stillness of the night, when everything else has gone. One of the most eye-opening things you can learn about your own body is that water does not simply walk into your cells on its own. And once you truly understand this, so many things that confused you about your health begin to make quiet, perfect sense. We grow up thinking of hydration as a volume game. Drink more water, feel better. Simple. But the biology tells a far more interesting story than that. Your cells are surrounded by membranes, thin, intelligent boundaries that carefully control what comes in and what stays out. Water needs permission to cross those membranes, and that permission comes in the form of minerals, specifically sodium, potassium, and magnesium, which work together to create the right electrochemical conditions for water to be pulled inside. When those minerals are present in the right balance, water flows into your cells smoothly and efficiently, and your body hums along with the kind of quiet energy that feels completely natural. But when those minerals are low, which happens more often than most people realize, especially in people who drink a lot of plain water without replacing what is lost through sweat, stress, and everyday living, the cell membranes essentially remain closed to incoming water. The water you drank is there, circulating in your blood, present in your system, but unable to reach the interior of the cells where it is most urgently needed, where energy is produced, where toxins are flushed, where every repair and renewal your body performs depends entirely on being properly and deeply. The most powerful changes in health rarely come from dramatic overhauls or sudden bursts of motivation. They come from small, quiet decisions made consistently, day after day, without fanfare and without perfection. Hydration is one of the most beautiful examples of this truth. It is not something you can fix in a single afternoon by drinking 3 liters of water all at once and considering the matter resolved. The body does not work that way. It is not looking for grand gestures. It is looking for reliability. It is looking for the kind of steady, gentle attention that tells it, day after day, that its needs are being seen and met. When you hydrate consistently, something shifts inside the body that goes far beyond thirst. Your energy becomes more stable through the day rather than climbing and crashing in unpredictable waves. And your thinking becomes clearer and more sustained. Your mood settles into a quieter, more even rhythm. Your skin begins to reflect something that no topical product can fully manufacture from the outside. Your sleep deepens. Your digestion eases. Your muscles recover more willingly after effort. None of these changes happen overnight, and that is precisely the point, because the body rewards consistency in ways that single-day efforts simply cannot reach. Every small sip taken with awareness, every morning glass before the coffee, every mineral-rich food chosen with a little more intention, every moment of tuning in to what your body is quietly asking for rather than pushing past it, all of it accumulates into something genuinely transformative over time. Building a foundation of cellular health that supports everything else you are trying to